This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is another video. Thank you very much for finding the time to join me on this video. You are, as always, very welcome. What we're going to do today, we're 2 days in to Royal Ascot 2024. It is arguably the most important day of the week tomorrow, moving day, halfway through the festival, Ladies' Day as always, and there's not many classics at Royal Ascot, as you all know. So that gives us the perfect opportunity, really, to review some classics during this quiet period. So that's what I intend to do. I've got plenty of races to take a look at today. We're also going to take a look at the Classic Watch participants in those races and where they might be going next and what's happening with them all. So a busy video today. So I'm going to crack on. The races we've got for you, we've got the Preakness from Pimlico, the second American Classic. We're then taking a look in Ireland for the first time this season with the Irish 1,000 and 2,000 guineas. And we are then heading up in trip to the Middle Distance Classics in the UK Oaks and the UK Derby from Epsom. Then we are staying in Europe, heading to France, and we're taking a look at the French Derby ran at Chantilly. And then we're going to end the video where we started, back in America, taking a look at the Belmont Stakes, which this year was held over 2 furlongs less and at a totally different track. So we're gonna start now. Like I said, we're not going to waffle on much. ClassicWatch24.great/site.net is where people will be able to find all these horses. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Preakness, held as always at Pimlico. We only had one runner in this race in Imagination. The Bob Baffert trained runner had been identified on Classic Watch 24. Let's see how the horse went.
Mystic Dan. Imagination. All set. And they're off in the Preakness. And a great start. Imagination goes for the lead, but sees the gray, wants a piece of the action early. Mystic Dan came away in good order, will settle one off the inside and Just Steal. Here's Catching Freedom, racing on the inside. Tuscan Gold, third to last. Uncle Heavy and Mugatu trails the field as Sees the Gray down to the rail, leads the way into the first turn here at Pimlico. With Imagination a bit out toward the center of the track on the chase, will now settle back and ready a bit in second spot. Mystic Dan is riding that rail under Brian Hernandez early, and on the outside is Just Steal right alongside. Catching Freedom, 6 lengths on the early pace. Tuscan Gold ridden along as they round that turn and head for the 6 furlong mark. Uncle Heavy second to last, and Mugatu the opening quarter, 23 and 4 on this muddy track. As Sees the Gray goes forward up front, showing the way is Sees the Gray. 5 furlongs out from the line, leads a length and 3/4 from Imagination in second. Just Steal, Mystic Dan still at the rail, racing in fourth in good striking range. And next is Catching Freedom, who's got 6 to make up, heading over the far turn. Tuscan Gold asks for more. Uncle Heavy and Mugatu, but it Sees the Gray in front, still in front by 3. Mystic Dan rolling up on the inside now. On the outside is Just Steal coming too, and in between horses Imagination and Catching Freedom also looms large at the top of the stretch with a quarter to go at Pimlico, and leading the way is Sees the Gray. Sees the Gray trying to lead them all the way. Sees the Gray, and here's Mystic Dan tipping to the outside. Mystic Dan's coming with a run at the 3/16, but still in front of Sees the Gray. Sees the Gray and Jaime Torres in front. Mystic Dan, Brian Hernandez Jr. Catching Freedom on the outside with a late bid. It Sees the Gray in front by 2, shifting out a little bit under left-handed pressure as they're close to home in the Preakness. Sees the Gray. Oh, Jaime Torres sees the day to win the 149th running of the Preakness with Mystic Dan or Catching Freedom. And then it was Tuscan Gold, Just Steal, Uncle Heavy, followed by Imagination and Mugatu.
A very good performance there, I think, on the day from Seize the Grey. The Arrogate side colt really seemed to relish the conditions there, didn't he? And he was a very hard horse to pass on the day, running to a mark of 125, beating the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan, who ran a valiant race, securing his second place classic effort, running to a mark of 119, with Catching Freedom finishing third. Of the one we had, really, I was hoping for more, really, from the Kentucky Derby horses turning up in this race. I had to really find Imagination after the race when I had a look at the race, and he was well beaten on the day, only beating one home, finishing a very disappointing seventh place, running to a Racing Post rating of 92. And more worryingly for the horse, really, for those looking to follow the horse moving forward, the horse has been beaten again at top level company, dropped back down to 7 furlongs in June and was only 7th again, although this time he did beat a few more home in the Group 1 Woody Stevens Stakes, where he ran to a mark of 87. So it's looking like, really, I don't know, this horse, one of the more exposed ones I think I've got now in America. Unfortunately, Imagination, it could be a long season with this one. Right, we're going to head back to Ireland now, and the 2,000 guineas for the Colts was run on the Saturday, and the 1,000 guineas was run on the Sunday. Both races taking place at the Curragh. We only had one horse in the Irish 2,000 guineas. It was the runner-up from Newmarket, the Richard Hannon, the English 2,000 guineas, classic runner-up, Rosalien, and he went off a warm order for this race.
They're lined up for the Colts Classic and over the mile. The Tattles's Irish 2,000 guineas. Unquestionable as prominent was Take Me to Church, River Tiber in the centre with alongside Rosalien. Out wide is Hatem as they race the end of the first furlong. Heading for the elbow, it is Take Me to Church, the green jacket on the inside of Unquestionable, followed by Hatem, River Tiber, Rosalien next, and then Atlantic Coast, Bright Stripes, and at the rear of the field is Mountain Bear as they straighten on up, less than 6 furlongs to go. In the lead is Take Me to Church, but only just to Unquestionable, couple clear of Hatem in third, and fourth is River Tiber, and fifth is Rosalien, the back three of Bright Stripes, Atlantic Coast, and Mountain Bear. They're spaced out, heading for the halfway stage, and it's Take Me to Church and Ronan Whelan. Alongside is Unquestionable and Wayne Lorden, less than 2 lengths in front of the third running Hatem and Jamie Spencer, and fourth is River Tiber and Ryan Moore. Fifth is Rosalien and Sean Levy, and then Bright Stripes. Billy Lee on the inside of Atlantic Coast, Dylan Brown, McMonigal, and Mountain Bear remains at the rear under Declan McDonough. There's been very little changes in the order. 2.5 furlongs to go. Take Me to Church, Unquestionable. Looming is Hatem. Being asked now for effort is River Tiber. Rosalien down the outside, followed then by Mountain Bear, Atlantic Coast, leaving behind Bright Stripes, and Hatem strikes the front. Racing to the final furlong. Rosalien, its stable companion, is coming hard in the middle of the track. In between them is River Tiber, breaking clear of Unquestionable. It's Hatem, collared by Rosalien on the stand side. Rosalien and Sean Levy are up in the guineas. From Hatem, what a result for Richard Ann, and then River Tiber cleared of Unquestionable.
Great performance there from the Classic Watch 24 selection, Rosalien, to land out and take out the Irish 2,000 guineas, the first Irish Classic of the season, albeit a bit closer than what people who would have risked the horse at those very prohibitive odds on the day would have liked. Rosalien winning, defeating Hatem by a head, running to a Racing Post rating of 119. The son of Blue Point. His first 3-year-old crop yields a classic winner. Another creditable run from Hatem, finishing 117, and third was the Aidan O'Brien trained River Tiber, running to a mark of 114. Not entirely sure that race was the strongest renewal of the Irish 2000 guineas that people will see. But Rosalian, I think Royal Ascot this week has gone a fair way to stamping his claim as being the best 3-year-old miler, with a win over a top-class field in the St James Palace Estates, where he actually improved on his Irish 2000 guineas form, running to a mark of 124. We beat a top-class field full of classic watch horses. Very good performance on the day from Rosalian, but he was good enough to take out the Irish guineas as well. The day after now we're going to go to the Irish 1,000 guineas for 3-year-old fillies over a mile. Throwing plenty of ammunition at this. I don't know how they all managed to turn up. I took a look at the race, and it was a very strong race, in my view. So, and we also had horses like Vespertilio coming out of other classics that had already been placed. So it was an interesting race. It was always going to be in the offing. And let's have a look at what transpired.
The flags are up. And that off. The 13-runner Tattersall's Irish 1,000 guineas. Group 1 over a mile, and prominent is Purple Lily with Skellet alongside. Close to the inside rail is Fallen Angel, followed by Finchgale Lewis and Vespertilio out wide. It is Opera Singer showing in front of stable companion Buttons, Alpharets, Blue Cap of Everlasting, and Queen of Thunder as they join up at the elbow, 6 furlongs to go. And it is Opera Singer, filly with the big white face, disputing it early on with Finchgale Lewis and Fallen Angel in between them, followed then by Azada, a Lilac Roll and Purple Lily next, then Vespertilio and Buttons, and Skellet has dropped back, then Petals and Rubies and Alpharets Everlasting in 2 lengths to the trailing 12, Queen of Thunder. They're stacked up, continuing their progress towards the halfway stage. Matching strides, Finchgale Lewis, Fallen Angel, attended by Opera Singer, and then a Lilac Roll, Azada next, and then Purple Lily and Vespertilio in mid-division. Buttons on the outside of Skellet, and then comes Petals and Rubies, Everlasting, Queen of Thunder, and Alpharets relegated to be the back marker. Less than 3 furlongs to go, and the Tattersall's Irish 1,000 guineas, and it is Fallen Angel, the fractional leader, from Finchgale Lewis, and then Opera Singer. Azada begins a run with the noseband, then a Lilac Roller, Purple Lily. Wide of the leaders is Buttons trying to pick up ahead of Vespertilio, but gone for home is Fallen Angel and Daniel Taro, skipping 2.5 clear from Opera Singer and Lilac Roller. Azada, Purple Lily is next. On the outside is Buttons, but it's Fallen Angel who's bouncing back from Newmarket in the Irish 1,000. Second is a Lilac Roller, judge for the third between the stable companions Opera Singer and Buttons on the outside of Purple Lily. In between horses, Fallen Angel wins for Daniel Turnup and Carl Burke.
A visually impressive performance there from the UK Raider. Carl Burke trained, Fallen Angel, Clipper Logistics own filly. Ran out, I think, a convincing winner on the day. A horse well beaten at Newmarket in the UK 1,000 guineas. I mean, they've managed to galvanise that horse on its second start, haven't they? And that horse has found plenty for pressure, really, there. And one she was not stopping at the end. The 2 darn hot side filly, making it a classic double for stallions with their first crop of 3-year-olds out in Ireland. 2 darn hots following Blue Point into the classic winning stallions enclosure at his first time of asking. We have to say, though, the rating, very poor. Racing Post rating of 113, deemed good enough to take out an Irish classic at this stage. Out of the many horses that were on Classic Watch 24, we actually filled 4 of the next 5 places. Only Purple Lily was the only one that Classic Watch 24 never identified. We'll take a look at them all. A Lilac Roller, career best, running to a mark of 106 when finishing second. The Harry Angel side filly, I think she's run a good race there, it's fair to say. And she is in the Falmouth in July, the 12th of July. And she has also entered in the Minstrel Stakes at the Curragh, over 2 furlongs in July. So that could have been her only classic shot. There doesn't seem to be any evidence. We've already had the UK Oaks. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that they're thinking Irish Oaks with this filly at this stage. Opera Singer, they had their connections have been on record saying that the mare had a interrupted early start to the season. So I think Connections will be quite happy with her third place, running to a mark of 101. Although obviously they would have liked to have taken out a classic. She's actually one that's ran higher at 114 than she did on that day. If she'd have ran 114 that day, it'd have been good enough to win the race. She's one that she's the Coronation Stakes tomorrow on Ladies' Day at Royal Ascot. Very short price. The Justify side filly, and hopefully she'll run well in the race. But like I said, the race isn't a classic, is it? I don't know if the horse is in the Irish Oaks. She is. She's in the Irish Oaks the 20th of July, but it seems to be the only race that they're not offering a price on Opera Singer at the moment into July. There's also races, the Pretty Polly Stakes on the 29th. That seems doubtful, doesn't it, in 9 days? Maybe the Falmouth again as well, where the 3-year-olds take on the older mares. I hope they go for the Irish Oaks. It's a classic site, after all. Buttons, another one that's slowly but steadily improving, it's fair to say. She was another one that put in her career best performance. Her first run over 101, when managing to finish 4th in an Irish Classic. The Irish horses, both Irish Classics taken out by UK-based runners. Buttons is one again, Pretty Polly and the Irish Oaks on the 20th of July. No entries for the horse at Royal Ascot, though the horse is in the Sussex. And the Champion Stakes, I think I would love to see this horse go up to 1.5 miles for the Irish Oaks. He's done nothing but finish late and over 1 mile and not get there. Even the step up to 10 furlongs, I think, will be a step in the right direction. Azada, well, on a second start, running to a mark of 99, I think you'd have to say that the Aga Khan filly acquitted herself quite well. For one, quite relatively inexperienced in relation to some. She's another one, Pretty Polly Irish Oaks, looks on the table, as well as maybe the International Stakes, the Group 3 over 10 furlongs on the same day as the Pretty Polly. Either of those races, I think, could lead her nicely into the Irish Oaks. She's another one that's in the Minstrel Stakes as well, and the Irish Champion Stakes also. Impossible, really, to write this filly off after only 2 starts, isn't it? She's just improved by 12 and managed to finish 6th on a classic in her second start. The one I was most disappointed with on the day, really, is Vespertilio. I mean, people saw, I thought, in France, and I thought that was more than capable. It was a length and a quarter behind Fallen Angel in the Moyglare last year. And this time it was beaten by 7 lengths. The mare could only finish 9th, the Knight of Thunder side mare. And I thought that was a disappointing run on the day. Running to a mark of 96. First time the jockey had ridden the horse, Declan McDonough. I wasn't really that impressed with it. I think Billy Lee does a much better job on the horse. I think the evidence is there for all to see. He's never finished out of the first 3 on the horse. Hopefully she can bounce back and take out some nice races. The only race she's in at the moment is the Group 2 Minstrel Stakes back at 7 furlongs on the 21st of July. Everlasting could be booked for the Royal Oaks. For the Irish Oaks, she's another one that's in tomorrow. They're really trying to maximise this filly at the moment, I think, because after that run finishing 11th, she actually come out and won a listed race at Naas in early June, the Kuyonga Stakes, where she tied her career best of 99 that she gained when finishing 3rd behind Azalea in the Salsable Stakes. So Everlasting is one they're keeping busy. She's in the Fillies Handicap today, or maybe that's Friday now, actually. The 5:05, it's just gone past midnight. The Sandringham Stakes, the Fillies Handicap, she's already proved. She's a pattern race horse winning a listed race. Will she be a group horse in a handicap on that day? That's the race we've had today, isn't it? The Sandringham. Let's have a look at that. Very confusing, the racing posters sometimes. It's actually baffled me there. That's for certain. Oh no, it's a different race. All these races at Royal Ascot tend to get the same, I think. That was one. Hopefully Everlasting will run well. Pearls and Rubies, well, I was one they surprised. They turned up with that one, really. Yes, she ran to 103 when finishing second in the Cheveley Park Stakes on her final start at 2. But I thought that was a pretty much exposing run of her, really. And she was last, running to a mark of 70. Hardly the start they were looking for, I think, for this mare at the this stage of the season. And she is deemed to go maybe where she's looking, according to the price, a bit of an also ran again in the Jersey Stakes on Saturday, a Group 3, over 7 furlongs. She would be one I'd already put her on a struggling list before she even turned up in the Irish Oaks and was placed in the Cheveley Park. If people look at her form last year, before that Cheveley Park, she was struggling. She improved by 19 there. Really? No, sorry, that's wrong, innit? She was struggling in mid-90s and then 103. You know, she was very, I don't know. I was surprised she ran as well as she did at 33-1 in the Cheveley Park, if I'm honest. Nicely bred filly by No Nay Never. But I think we've already established that they're not classic horses at this stage, unfortunately, for the stallion. Right, we're going to take a little jump forward now, a week or so. And we're going to head to Epsom. And Epsom is the reverse order to what we've just seen at the Curragh. Namely, the fillies are first on the Friday and the colts then run on the Saturday. Over a mile and a half this time in the Oaks and the Derby in the UK. We're going to take a look at the UK Oaks first, where we had 4 running for Classic Watch 24. Let's watch the race and then we'll take a look at the 4 fillies.
They're set at the mile and a half start and they're off and racing for the Betfred Oaks. On the inside, Caught You Looking with the white cap, Secret Satire and a noseband going forward. So too Making Dreams on the outside with Seaward Handy in the bright pink and green jacket. You Got To Me is close up and Treasure towards the outside. They're followed by Dance Sequence and Ezaliah, and then towards the outside War Chimes. They're followed then by Forest Ferry on the inside. The 2 Aidan O'Brien runners towards the rear at the moment. Ilang Ilang in the dark blue jacket and Rubies Are Red, purple and white. Continuing their climb uphill through the first 3 furlongs, it's Making Dreams that makes the running. From Seaward in second now. Secret Satire remains close up with Caught You Looking and Treasure in the royal colours. Very Handy, the grey filly. You Got To Me is on the outside along with War Chimes, followed by Ezaliah. In the centre amongst the group is Dance Sequence, followed then by Forest Fairy, and still at the back Ilang Ilang and Rubies Are Red towards the inside. Turning a little right-handed as they reach the highest point on the racecourse. And Making Dreams is opening up a little. Goes 4 lengths clear, maybe 5 lengths clear of Seaward in second. Treasure is third. You Got To Me in fourth. Then on the inside, Caught You Looking. They are tracked by Secret Satire. Green-jacketed Ezaliah to the outside. Back on the inside is Forest Fairy. From Dance Sequence, then War Chimes, Rubies Are Red. And Ryan Moore is at the back of the field in last place on Ilang Ilang as they begin the run down towards Tatton Corner. And up ahead it's Making Dreams that leads the way still, a slightly reduced advantage from Seaward in second. Treasure is right there under James Doyle. On the inside is Caught You Looking in a white cap. The nose banded then Secret Satire, You Got To Me round the outside, then Ezaliah, Rubies Are Red. Behind these then Dance Sequence, Ilang Ilang just nudged along now into the bridle as they prepare to straighten up for the judge. And up ahead it is still Making Dreams, but they're challenging. Here come the challengers. seaward. Caught You Looking is diving for the inside running rail. Out wider, You Got To Me. Ezalier goes very well in the green jacket. War Chimes is wider. Ilang Ilang is beginning to stay on from the back of the field. It's Dance Sequence laying down the big challenge to Caught You Looking. You Got To Me and Ezalier, and they're followed by War Chimes and Ilang Ilang, who's still got plenty to do. Ezalier and Dance Sequence. Dance Sequence for Godolphin on the far side, just getting a bit unbalanced. Ezalier now strikes the front under Chris Hayes. Is Ezalier from Dance Sequence. War Chimes into third, and racing for the line is Ezalier, who races away from Dance Sequence, and Ezalier for the Aga Khan wins the Betfred Oaks. In second, Dance Sequence. Third, War Chimes. You Got To Me in fourth, followed home by Caught You Looking, and then Ilang Ilang.
Well, we saw one well-bred Aga Khan horse there, didn't we, in the Irish 1,000 guineas, a very lightly raced horse. Another mare has managed to take out the UK Oaks for them. Azalea, sired by Dubawi, his first win over a mile and a half in a classic at Epsom. Azalea running to a mark of 115, which is arguably the best we've seen in the fillies division in Europe this season. Azalea, good performance that was, and I thought I was very impressed. We actually had a 1-2 there because the horse that flopped at Newmarket, Dance Sequence, bounced back to finish second, running to a mark of 110. A 1-2 for the stallion Dubawi in that race. Third was War Chimes, sired by Summerfront, running to a mark of 108. And they were 4 lengths clear of the rest. Azalea, a bit more exposed. She'd already won the Group 3 Salsable Stakes, so people sort of knew what she was getting. And she ran well there, improving by another 12 on her fourth star. And she seems one of the leading 3-year-old fillies, I think, on pedigree and form. And it's good to see that the only race she's entered in at the moment is the Irish Oaks. I mean, that's exactly what I like to see on Classic Watch 2024. Hopefully she turns up and puts in another good, solid performance. Dance Sequence, well, that was her best performance of her career, that 110 rated run at Epsom. She'd finished 9th in the English Guineas. She'd finished 2nd in the Nell Gwyn. 3 runs in April and May. And I think the run in June, where we're in a race we're going to take a look at in a later video, in the French Oaks when she was last, I think she might have just been a bit tired on that day. But this is about the UK Oaks, and on the day, the horse has put in a fantastic run, really, on the day. Ylang Ylang, well, what can people say about Ylang Ylang, a horse that has failed in 2 classics now at a mile and a mile and a half? The one at the Newmarket, they gave her a mark of 110. Excuse me. And the one at Epsom here, they only gave her a mark of 100. Group 1 winner at 2 when she managed to win the Fillies Mile. But this Frankleside filly, I think, has let connections down twice massively. And it's very interesting, that yard. They strike me as being a bunch of total chances. Whenever the horse wins, the horse is brilliant. The horse has done fantastic. All credit to the horse. When they lose, the horse never takes responsibility for a defeat. It always seems to be somebody else's fault, the trainer's fault. You know, the trainer got it wrong, everything. You know, normally blames himself, to be fair. But he never takes the credit for the victory, but blames himself for the defeats. I mean, a very interesting strategy, I think that is. And it's one that people really do need to be thinking a lot about whenever they listen to these people. And I think we're going to see another look at an example of that in the next classic. The other horse we had running in the race, Forest Fairy, the Waldgeist side mare. I was hoping that was the one that was stepped forward. Waldgeist, a good up-and-coming sire. We'd had 2 first-season 3-year-old stallions win in Ireland. So I was hoping that Waldgeist might be able to repeat the trick. But unfortunately, Forest Fairy can only finish 7th out of 12. And they're saying her run was actually worse than when she won the listed Cheshire Oaks, when she ran to a mark of 88 on what can be a very crucial third start for the horse. it's good to see that they've got her back out again in the Ribblesdale today, and hopefully the horse can pick up the right direction again. I hope she does. It's a nice horse, Forest Fairy, without any shadow of a doubt. And you'll see there that the horse entered, like I said, in the Ribblesdale today, and she's also in the Irish Oaks and the Arc. Excellent. Just the sort of races I like to see. A Classic Watch 24 possible entered in. Goes to show that I might be on the right track. If the horse is good enough, she'll get involved, and if she's not, she won't. But at least she's going to hopefully turn up in another classic. Right, we're going to take a look now at the Derby for the Colts, which, like I said, was run on the Saturday. Very interesting race. Obviously, we've got Guinea's flop, City of Troy, was turning up. And we also had Ancient Wisdom making his first classic appearance of the season for Godolphin. It was looking like a clash of the Titans, and let's see what transpired.
And they're set for the 2024 Betfred Derby. And they're off. City of Troy right on the inside in the dark blue jacket. Where is Ryan Moore going to find himself at the end of the first furlong or two as Euphoric, his stable companion, dashes forward, the son of Frankel, with Los Angeles into second. Aidan O'Brien 1 and 2 setting a fast early pace, followed by Dallas Star. Ancient Wisdom not far behind these with Bellum Justum. On the outside, Table Took, Ambiente Friendly in the yellow, and we've lost one. One of them has unseated the rider. I'm not sure which one it is at the moment as they race across towards the inside, and Euphoric is the leader from Los Angeles in second. On the inside, Sadati, Ancient Ambiente Friendly is right there as well, and then just behind these Bellum Justum. On the outside is Table Talk, further back then is Dear a Mile with Ancient Wisdom just ahead, and then back in the field to City of Troy just to the inside, following Mr. Hampstead round as they head up the hill. Dallas Star is handy out the back, God's Window with Dancing Gemini, and also towards the outside or the inside then is Cambu in the red cap and Macduff as they race on towards the top of the racecourse. And the one that looked as though it was Voyage unseated Pat Dobbs in the early stages and racing round the top turn now inside the final 6.5 furlongs, and Euphoric leads the way to Los Angeles, followed by Sadati on the inside of Dallas Star, then Mr. Hampstead, Ambiente Friendly and Ancient Wisdom moving up a little bit in the Godolphin blue jacket. They're followed then by on the inside Mr. Hampstead of Table Talk out wide, Macduff away back, then City of Troy, dark blue jacket. Ryan Moore's trying to angle for a bit of a run, getting off the inside from God's Window, then Cambu, Dancing Gemini and the Nose Bandit Dear a Mile. They're preceded by the Loose Horse Voyage as they run round Tattenham Corner, and it's still Aidan O'Brien 1 and 2. Euphoric from Los Angeles, who's well positioned. They're chased by Dallas Star, by Sadati, Ancient Wisdom, Ambiente Friendly is travelling very well, yellow with the black striped sleeves, and City of Troy now coming through under Ryan Moore. He's found a great seam as they run down the straight, and City of Troy has quickened up very well to lead, but Ambiente Friendly trying to challenge as long as the Loose Horse doesn't get in the way. Then Los Angeles, City of Troy leads the way in the Betfred Derby from Ambiente Friendly and Los Angeles racing inside the final furlong. City of Troy by 2 lengths to Ambiente Friendly, then Los Angeles. What a comeback here by City of Troy. City of Troy bouncing back 3 lengths clear. A brilliant win in the Betfred Derby. What a training performance by Aidan O'Brien. He came right away, passing the line. Ambiente Friendly in second. Then fighting out for third, Los Angeles and Sadati, Dare a Mile. And then Dancing Gemini from Bellum Justin, Ancient Wisdom. Further back, Euphoric. And right out the back in the end were Mr. Hampstead and also Dallas Star.
Very impressive performance there from City of Troy. I've got to touch on Ylang again quickly after the Oaks. I think she was even reported as being injured by connections. Has a horse, have they ever come out at Ballydoyle and said, yeah, our horse was beaten fair and square, just wasn't good enough on the day? You know, an injury afterwards, or, you know, I think they are what they are. But there's no disputing the fact that they have some fantastic ammunition at their disposal at this time to take out UK classics. Evidence there by the 2 3/4 length win of the Justify sired City of Troy. The Dewhurst winner, as has gone off really, a remarkable 3-1 favourite, running to a Racing Post rating of 125. Another magnificent performance for the horse. So trained by a master, the horse bred to do the job, and the master O'Brien has delivered. Ambiente Friendly, you have to say, ran a good race for Connections, as did Los Angeles, I think, who looks to me, like I said in the video that we did for him, looks a good type for the Ledger, that sort of horse. And I do think he is also in the Irish Derby. The Camelot side horse managed to finish third, running to a Racing Post rating of 115. So justify Glen Eagles and Camelot. Camelot there, in fact, finished their filling for fourth place as well. So a good day for Coolmore Stallions there. And I'm sure if it wasn't, it would have been somebody else's fault and not the horses. Let's take a look at the other one. We had City of Troy. There we see there, running to a mark of 125. Rated 2 better than his Dewhurst win last year of 123 and a lot better than the 84 he was allotted when 9th of 11, beaten 17 lengths in the UK Guineas in May. The horse, I think the horse will turn up in the Eclipse next in early July, a race for which is already the odds-on favourite. The horse is still in the Irish Derby, and it's also the horse in the King George, and he's also in the Arc and the Irish Champion Stakes. Not in the St Ledger, a race I'm certain if he turned up in, he would win. But that race doesn't even seem to be on the horizon for that horse at this stage. Very good classic winner, very incredible price, really. Someone was to tell me that the number one pick for a classic on a website would in return winning one at 3-1. And I would say that site needs keeping an eye on, wouldn't you, boys and girls? The other horse, Los Angeles, a decent enough performance, improved by 4 when he won the Group 3, the Derringstown, the 111, went into a mark of 115. But he was well beaten on the day by City of Troy, running to 6 lengths behind. Still Ryan Moore yet to sit on this horse in a race. Will he sit on the horse for the first time in the Irish Derby, where the horse is currently a 7-4 shot for the next classic in 10 days' time? Here's another one that is also in the Eclipse. It's also in the Curragh Cup and the King George and the Irish Champion Stakes. This horse is in the Irish Ledger. Excuse me, City of Troy, not in that race. And the Arc as well. So plenty of races on the horizon for Los Angeles. Hopefully he can take out the Irish Derby and continue to head in the right direction. The Godolphin horse, Ancient Wisdom, has gone down as a disappointing horse this season, really. When it won the Group 3, 114, it then went one worse when it won its Group 1 at Doncaster in the Futurity. And since then, the horse is getting worse every time the horse has ran. The horse ran to 107 when second in the Dante behind Economics, well beaten that day. And again, the horse has ran to 99 when 8th in the Derby, well beaten again. It's been beaten a combined distance of 22 lengths in its first 2 starts of this season. Where is the horse entered? Hopefully nowhere, looking at that form. One that's entered in the Irish Derby could bounce back, I suppose, and give us another run in a classic. Hopefully it does. And the horse is entered in the Arc. Be interesting to see if they've got the nerve to turn up to the Irish Derby on the back of the 2 runs the horse has had this year. Right, very interesting, I think, there. The UK Middle Distance Classics. One more classic to go in the UK. The St Ledger. We're going to head to France now and take a look at the first, I'm going to say middle distance, 10 intermediate classic, the 10 furlong trip. They don't run them on the same day. We have had the Fillies Oaks, the Fillies race, but I thought this video was getting a bit long with the amount of races we had anyway. So rather like the Japanese Derby, which has always already taken place as well. They will feature in the next video, probably with some Irish middle distance classics. But for now, we're going to take a look at the first French intermediate classic of the season. the Prix de Jockey Club, which they call the French Derby.
All 14 set under orders and they're racing for the Premium Jockey Club. Getting away well on the inside, which is important, is Sozy. Also Ghost Rider came away okay. Fast Tracker was a good starter. Diego Velasquez has come away fast and is just able to tackle towards the inside. Ramadan from the outside. One has come through and now Ramadan has picked up the lead, or it's gone into second place behind Fast Tracker. So settling down, and it's Fast Tracker and James Stewart from Ramadan second, Ghost Rider third, Diego Velasquez on the outside. Look de Vega has made a decent start, orange with the green cap. On the wide outside is Alcantor. Then behind these, First Look, and on the inside Sozy. Further behind the green and red of Grecian Storm on the outside. Sunway is further back down the field, yellow and white, on dollar index on the inside. Then back to the last three. At last, Arrow Eagle, and finally Mondo Man in last position. So it's the favourite. Fast Tracker has gone on by a length and a half. Ramadan on the outer from Aurelien Lemaitre. Tracking these two, Ghost Rider, Richard Kingscote on the inside, Diego Velasquez on the outer. Between those two, the orange of Look de Vega in fifth position. Alcantor around the outer. In the centre is First Look towards the inside. Sozy, as they now race uphill, begin to swing back towards the home straight. Down towards the 600, and as they turn in, the sparring finishes, the gloves come off, and it's Fast Tracker who's led them in. Ramadan in second. Diego Velasquez now begins a challenge up on the outer. Look de Vega's travelling really strongly just behind those. Alcantor tries for a run on the outside. First Look is switching to the outer as well. Diego Velasquez has come through and got to the lead, but Look de Vega now challenges. Sozy's bursting through on the inside, but it's Look de Vega who goes on. Here's First Look down the outside. Look de Vega with the lead. First Look is finishing well. Sozy in behind, but Look de Vega has gone on by 2 or 3 lengths, and it's Look de Vega and Ronan Tomo who wins it. From First Look in second, Sozy was third, Ghost Rider was fourth, and back in fifth was Mondo Man. Sensational performance from number 8, Look de Vega, for Carlos and Jan Lerner and Ronan Tomo, his first French Derby win, and he's done it.
I have to agree with the commentator there. That was a very good turn of foot from the Look de Vega side. Look de Vega to take out the French Derby, running to a mark of 120, which I think is a decent performance, really. We've looked at some of the mares, obviously a few below City of Troy, but yeah, a very good performance. A convincing winner of the day. Beats First Look by 2 lengths. First Look subsequently purchased by Wafnon Racing. That run into a mark of 114. A 1-2 for the stallion, Lope de Vega. And the Sea the Stars side, Sozy, managed to finish third, running to a mark of 113. Unfortunately for Classic Watch 24, the best that the site could manage was fourth. That was Ghost Rider, running to a mark of 110. So a disappointing outing for the Classic Watch 24 there in the French Derby. No doubt about that. The 3 runners and the best the site could manage was fourth. Ghost Rider seems quite a consistent horse, doesn't he? Winner of the Royal Lodge last year, I think he was. Yeah. Group 2. He ran to 112 in the UK Guineas, and he's ran to 110 in the French Derby, finishing fourth in both races. The horse isn't really doing much wrong, is it? It just doesn't seem to be quite good enough at this stage to get his head in front in a classic, which is quite frustrating. Invincible Spirit side horse, will it go for an Irish Derby or a Ledger? Probably not, I would say. Be surprised if it did. Although I do see that the horse is in the Irish Derby, the 30th of June. Whether it get a mile and a half is open to debate, I think. It's also entered in the Eclipse, which I think is a fairer race, but it might have to take on some good horses there. And it's also in the Irish Champion Stakes as well on the 14th, and it's also in the Arc as well at this very early stage for that race. So, frustrating horse really, Ghost Rider, finishing fourth in 2 classics. I mean, there will always be horses like that on this site, unfortunately, and that is one of them. Arguably, they're all the same, really, in this race. They've all had goes. Diego Velasquez has had a go, without any shadow of a doubt. Diego Velasquez finished fourth in the French Guineas, running to 110, and has run to about the same mark again, 108, when managed to finish eighth in the French Derby. I think he's about time for a run for in UK and Ireland, really, for this horse, or another Group 2 winner, and a horse that hasn't run above 110 yet, though, in 5 starts. And he is entered in a race tomorrow over 1 mile 4 furlongs at Ascot, the King Edward, I imagine that will be, the Group 2, which I think is a good entry for the horse, if that's the case. We'll have a look at the race. We're not doing Royal Ascot today. That'll be for another time. But yeah, Diego Velasquez. Let's have a look at the entries now. Actually, yeah, the King Edward the 7th, which is a 9-2 shot. Good solid entrance for the horse, that is, as he works, I should hope, towards the St Ledger. Another one that's in the Irish Derby, and also in the Eclipse, and it's also in the King George Champion Stakes in the Arc. But I think really we're looking at races maybe like the Voltiger and the UK and Irish Ledgers for this horse. Regarding our derbies, I don't think it can beat Los Angeles. You never know. But Los Angeles looks a solid contender if the favourite in the Irish Derby. It'll be interesting to see if they let Diego Velasquez take his chance in that race, though. Definitely. Ramadan, good trial horse, but like I feared, in the step up to classics, he has been found a little bit wanted, I think. Running to a mark of 112 and 111 to take out listed and Group 3 French Classic Trials. In the Guineas, he finished 5th, and in the Derby, he finished 11th, running to a mark of 109 and 102, respectively. And the horse, really, that, to me, has fallen short at the top level at this stage. France Gallop's got his own thing for entries. There's no entries in the UK and Ireland for this horse at the moment. But the horse is a French-based one. So the form, really, though, it might be one, unless it wins a Group 2. It's been beaten in 2 Group 1s already. And, the horse is starting to expose itself now, Ramadan. But it's been a good, solid contender. Right, that's Europe done. Now, for this video, we're going to end the video where we started. And that is in the US of A. And we're going to take a look at the Belmont Stakes, ran this year over 10 furlongs at Saratoga, rather than a mile and a half at Belmont. Always an informative race, though. We had a couple running in this race for Classic Watch 24. Let's see what transpired in the race.
The last one is Mindframe and Arad Ortiz Jr. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga, presented by Naira Bets and Resilience. Broke alertly, so did Seize the Gray, and here's Dornock headstrong in the early going. Mindframe is 4 deep, but up and on the pace, and Antiquarian is just behind them in 5th. The Wine Steward is next. Kentucky Derby winner Mystic Dan will settle in mid-pack, about 6 lengths off the lead. It's a gap of 5. Back to Protective. Sierra Leone got bounced around at the start, and Anna Marie is at the back of the field. The opening quarter in just under 23 seconds flat, and it Seize the Gray, showing the way by a half length to Dornock in 2nd. Mindframe right together with Resilience, who's down on the inside 4th. Antiquarian is 5th between rivals, 4 lengths off the pace as they swing on to the Saratoga backstretch. It's another 2 to the New York bred, the Wine Steward, who races outside of Mystic Dan. Mystic Dan is now 7 lengths off the lead. Another 5 lengths to Protective. Sierra Leone is allowed to go moderately at this stage. He has a lot of ground to make up as usual, and Anna Marie at the back, 47-1 for the Preakness winner, Seize the Gray, who heads past the half-mile pole, leading over Dornock, who's been pestering him the entire journey. Antiquarian trying to move up between rivals. Mindframe is just outside of him. He just got his cue, and he's 3.5 lengths off the new leader, Dornock, who puts his head in front of Seize the Gray. Mindframe moving in. Antiquarian, The Wine Steward is next. Mystic Dan is still 7 lengths off the lead. Sierra Leone launching his bid on the far outside as the field turns for home. Mindframe on the outside is coming after Dornoch, and it's Mindframe and Dornoch head in head with a furlong left to go. Sierra Leone is closing ground. It's Dornoch hugging the rail. Mindframe a little erratic, but he's still right there with Dornoch in an absolute thriller. Dornoch and Mindframe. It will be Dornoch and Luis Saez to win the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga.
What a fantastic result there for Classic Watch 24 in the Belmont Stakes, taking the sight out with a 17.7 to 1 winner. Dornoch, a full brother to last year's Kentucky Derby winner, has been allowed to go off in another classic a year later at 17.7 to 1. And Classic Watch 24 has taken advantage. Great performance by the Good Magic side horse, running to a mark of 122. Mindframe, for an inexperienced horse, the Constitution side horse, it hadn't ran in any classics before then. I think that's ran a cracking race to split those two, with Sierra Leone placed in yet another classic, the Gunrunner side colt, running to a mark of 119. Very interesting US Classic campaign. That's the final US Classic of the year. We also had Resilience in there for Classic Watch 24, well beaten on the day, finishing last, unfortunately, running to a mark of 56. But we didn't have 17.7 runners in that race. Dornoch looked a bit exposed, it's fair, managed to beat Sierra Leone by a nose when it won the Remsen in December 2023. He ran in the Fountain of Youth, managing to win, beating a pretty weak field, really. Since then, Keeneland and Churchill look to be exposed. 4th behind Sierra Leone, 10th in the big day at Keeneland, and the horse has taken its form to a whole new level. The horse is well-bred horse improving. Who would have thought it? Running to a mark of 122. Can the horse now prove that run wasn't a flash in the pan moving forward? Hopefully the horse can. Sierra Leone, arguably one of the unluckiest classic losers that Classic Watch has had in the 3 years it's been going. Is it 3 now? Yeah, 22, 23 and 24. I had to look at my own bookmarks then. You'll see there, running second, beating the nose. How did it not win the Kentucky Derby? Still to this day, how did it not win? How did Forever Young not win the Kentucky Derby? That was definitely one that's got away this year. Third there behind Dornoch, went into a mark of 119. Very consistent horse though, isn't it? 118, 122, 121 and 119. If they can just squeeze a little bit of improvement out of this horse, it could be very hard to beat. Mystic Dan there looked a bit tired, the Kentucky Derby winner in the Belmont, only managing to finish 8th, running to a mark of 91. But the horse has turned up in all 3 classics and has managed to win one. So the horse deserves credit. And the Preakness winner that we saw earlier, Seize the Grey, managed to finish 7th in the Belmont, running to a mark of 97 for those that are interested in the performance of other classic horses. But yeah, and Resilience there, you saw his mark of 56, 6th in the Derby, running to a mark of 113. A mark he has run to twice. But rather like Dornoch, he's one now that I think does need to take a bit of a step forward, the Into Mischief side colt. We look to have better at the moment, it's fair to say. But yeah, very interesting, fantastic performance there from Dornoch. And three out of the last 4 classics we've looked at in this video, I don't know if you've all noticed, they have been taken out by the site classicwatch24.great/site.net. There's still 3 classics left. We've got the Irish Oaks, really. We've got the Irish Derby. We've got the UK St Ledger. The Irish and Ledger not so much, and the French because older horses can run in that as well. But I'll take them if they come up on the horizon. And then it's all about looking at horses for possible Classic Watch 25 horses if I decide to do it or not. It's entirely up to me. Nobody makes me do this. I'm in control. It's just whether I decide whether I want to do it or not, really. So don't forget, classicwatch24.great/site.net. What I'll do is I will leave a playlist at the end of this video to all the Classic Watch 2024 horses. And I will also give everybody an opportunity who has watched this video and has chosen not to subscribe after the 17-1 Belmont winner, the 3-1 winner of the Derby, the 13-2 winner of the Irish Oaks. I mean, why would anyone not want to subscribe to a channel that is delivering that on such a consistent basis at the highest level? If horse racing is their sport, is there really anyone else out there? I'll leave that for others to decide. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. It's been an absolute pleasure taking a look at all these beautifully bred horses, take out these classics. Like I said, for this series, the Classic Watch 24 series, I'll be back with a review at some point. Like I said, we've got the Japanese Derby and the French Oaks already having taken place for us to look at. Let's give them a bit more time to rate the French Oaks. And then we'll move on to maybe the Irish Derby this week. So there's 3 classics we could review over the next 3 or 4 weeks. We've got also Germany coming on the horizon soon as well with the German Oaks and the German Derby. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the rest of Royal Ascot. Ladies' Day tomorrow, the most important day of the week where we celebrate the fairer sex of humanity. Something humanity doesn't do often enough, I don't think. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and goodbye.